The sky turned red on the day of the battle. Not from blood or fire, but from the shields of 1,000 ships. King Wu had arrived with his fleet. His ships were dark and ugly. They looked like teeth in the sky, ready to bite the world below. Tay stood on a hill near his village. Nari stood beside him. All around them, people had gathered. They were scared. They were confused. They did not understand what was happening. But they trusted Tay. He was one of them. If he said everything would be okay, they believed him. "Do not be afraid," Tay said to the crowd. "The Queen is on our side. She will protect us." An old woman spoke up. "But why is she here? What do they want with Earth?" Tay looked at Nari. She nodded, giving him permission to tell the truth. "They came for her," Tay said, pointing at Nari. "She is the Queen's daughter. 3 years ago, she fell from the sky and I found her. I took care of her. Now, there is a bad king who wants to take her by force. The Queen is here to stop him." The people looked at Nari with new eyes. Some were scared. Some were curious. Some were angry that a stranger had brought war to their world. But one young boy walked forward. He looked at Nari and smiled. "You are the Star Lady," he said. "I saw you help my grandmother carry water last week. You smiled at me." Nari knelt down to his level. "I remember you. You gave me a flower." The boy nodded proudly. "You are nice. I do not care where you came from. You are our neighbor." Other villagers started nodding. They remembered Nari too. She had helped many of them over the years. She had fixed broken fences. She had given medicine to sick children. She had worked in their fields when they needed extra hands. An old man stepped forward. "She is one of us," he said. "We protect our own." More voices joined him. Soon, the whole crowd was agreeing. They were scared of the ships in the sky, but they were not going to abandon Nari. Tay felt pride in his heart. This was what humanity was about. Not weapons or technology, but kindness, loyalty, the choice to stand together even when afraid. Up in space, the battle began. Queen Vela's ships moved fast. They surrounded King Wu's fleet before he could react. Lights flashed in the sky. It looked like a storm made of stars. King Wu's voice came through every radio and television on Earth. His voice was deep and cruel. "You dare betray me, Vela? You promised me the girl. She is mine by right." The Queen's voice answered him, clear and strong. "She is my daughter. She's not property. And she chose her own path. That is something you will never understand." King Wu laughed. "Love? Choice? These are weak words. Power is all that matters. I have more power than you." His ship started firing. Energy beams cut through space. Queen Vela's ships returned fire. The battle was fierce. For a moment, it looked like King Wu might win. His ships were larger and carried bigger weapons. But then something happened that nobody expected. From behind Earth's moon, more ships appeared. They were not from Queen Vela's empire. They were different. Ships from many different worlds. Ships from species across the galaxy. The Queen had not come alone. She had brought allies. A new voice came through the radios. It was calm and wise. "King Wu, for too long you have bullied the galaxy. You have stolen daughters. You have burned worlds. You have ruled through fear. Today, that ends." More voices joined. Representatives from dozens of species. All of them had suffered under King Wu. All of them had been waiting for this day. "Surrender now," the Queen said, "and we will show you mercy. Fight, and you will be destroyed." King Wu was silent for a long moment. Then he laughed again, but this time his laugh sounded hollow. "You think you have won? Even if you destroy my fleet, my empire will continue. My sons will avenge me. You have only delayed the inevitable. No, said the queen. Your empire is already gone. While you were coming here, our forces attacked your home world. Your sons have been captured. Your generals have surrendered. You have nothing left. The battle stopped. Ships on both sides waited. The whole galaxy held its breath. Then, slowly, King Wu's flagship began to move. Not toward the Queen's fleet. Toward Earth. If I fall, I will take this pathetic planet with me, King Wu screamed. I will burn it to ashes. Let humanity be my final victim. His ship fired. A massive beam of energy shot toward Earth. It was aimed at the village. At Tay and Nari and all the people standing on the hill. Tay saw it coming. He had just enough time to grab Nari and push her to the ground. He covered her body with his own and closed his eyes. But the fire never came. When Tay opened his eyes, he saw light. Not the light of destruction. A different light. A shield of pure energy surrounded the village. It glowed soft blue, like the color of a calm sea. Queenvilla's ship had moved between Earth and the attack. Her shields were absorbing the blow meant for them. The ship shook and trembled. Lights flickered inside it. But it held. Mother! Nari screamed. The Queen's voice came through Tay's phone. It was weak but calm. I am fine, my daughter. This ship can take more than that. Then she gave an order to her fleet. Her voice turned cold and hard. Destroy him. 100 ships fired at once. King Wu's flagship had no chance. It exploded in a ball of light. Pieces of it scattered across space like falling stars. The war was over. Hours later, Queen Vila came down to Earth. Her ship landed in Tay's field, the same field where Nari had crashed 3 years ago. She walked toward them with a smile on her face. But she was not alone. Behind her came leaders from many worlds. Tall beings with 4 arms. Small creatures with glowing skin. Entities made of light and shadow. The galaxy had come to Earth. People of Earth, the Queen said. Today, a simple farmer named Tay taught me something important. He taught me that true strength is not in weapons or armies. It is in the heart. It is in the choice to stand for what is right, even when you are afraid. She turned to Tay. Because of you, my daughter found happiness. Because of you, I found my heart again. And because of you, the galaxy is free from a tyrant. She raised her hand, and it was a small device that shone like a captured star. I offer Earth membership in the Galactic Alliance. You will have access to knowledge beyond imagination. Technology to heal your planet. Friends across the stars. What do you say? The world was watching. Leaders and common people alike waited for an answer. But nobody knew who should speak. Tay stepped forward. The farmer who'd started all of this. The man who had just refused to give up someone he loved. We are a young species, he said. We make many mistakes. We hurt each other. We damage our world. We are not perfect. He paused and looked at the sky, at all the ships waiting up there. But we also love. We hope. We dream. We protect the weak. We stand up against evil. That is who humans are. That is what we offer the galaxy. He smiled. So yes, we accept. Let us be friends. The crowd cheered. The aliens made sounds of joy in their own ways. Even the Queen smiled, wider than anyone had ever seen her smile. That night, Tay and Nari sat outside their little house. The sky was full of ships, but they were friendly ships now. Lights twinkled above like a million stars. Nari leaned her head on Tay's shoulder. You are famous now. The human who saved the galaxy. Tay laughed softly. I did not do anything special. I just did not give up. That is special, Nari said. That is the most special thing anyone can do. She looked up at him with her purple eyes. Thank you, Tay, for finding me, for keeping me, for loving me." Tay kissed her forehead gently. "Thank you for falling into my field." They laughed together. Above them, the stars shone bright. Somewhere out there, countless worlds were celebrating tonight. The monster was dead. A new age had begun, and it had all started with a simple farmer who refused to let go of love. In the end, that is what humans do best. They love fiercely. They fight for what matters. They never give up. And sometimes, just sometimes, that is enough to change the universe. The Queen's ships stayed in the sky. They did not leave. They did not attack. They just waited there, watching everything below. The whole world was watching too. News spread fast. People everywhere learned that aliens were real. They learned that a queen from the stars had come to Earth. Governments tried to contact the ships. They sent radio messages. They flew planes close to them. But the ships did not answer. The Queen was not interested in talking to Earth's leaders. She only cared about one thing, her daughter. 2 days passed. Tay and Nari stayed in their house. They did not know what to do. They did not know what would happen next. They just held on to each other and waited. On the third day, the Queen came back. This time, she came alone. No soldiers. No weapons. Just her. She landed outside Tay's house and knocked on the door like a normal visitor. Tay opened the door slowly. He was surprised to see her alone. She looked different today. She was not wearing her crown. Her silver hair was tied back simply. Her face looked tired. "May I come in?" she asked. Tay looked at Nari. Nari nodded slowly. He stepped aside and let the Queen enter. The Queen sat down at their small table. She looked around the house again. This time, she did not look disgusted. She looked curious. "This is where you live," she said. "Just you two, in this small place." "It is enough for us," Tay said. The Queen nodded slowly. "In my palace, I have 1,000 rooms. Servants to do everything. Food from 100 worlds. Art worth more than this planet. And yet, I have never felt at peace. Not once in 1,000 years." She looked at Nari. "You found peace here, in this third house on a backward world." "How?" Nari sat down across from her mother. Tay stood nearby, watching carefully. "It was not the house," Nari said. "It was not the place. It was the people. It was the life." She paused and looked at her hands. "In your palace, everything was done for me. I never had to work. I never had to struggle. But I also never had to grow. I was like a flower in a pot, never touching the soil, never feeling the rain." She looked up at her mother. "Here, I had to learn everything. How to cook, how to clean, how to grow food. It was hard at first. I failed many times. But every failure taught me something. Every success made me stronger." The Queen listened without speaking. "And Tay," Nari continued, "he did not treat me like a princess. He treated me like a person. He expected nothing from me except kindness. He gave me freedom I never had before. Freedom to be wrong. Freedom to be weak. Freedom to be myself." The Queen turned to look at Tay. "You have strange power, human. You changed my daughter in ways I never could." "How?" Tay shook his head. "I did not change her. I just let her be herself. That is all. That is all," the Queen repeated softly. Such simple words, but such a difficult thing to do. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke again. "I came here today to tell you something. Something I should have told Nari long ago. The truth about the marriage. The truth about everything." Nari's body became tense. Tay moved closer to her, ready to support her. "The Eastern Stars are not just powerful," the Queen said. "They are monsters. Their leader, King Wu, is a conqueror. He has destroyed hundreds of worlds. He kills without mercy. He rules through fear and death. Her voice became heavy. 20 years ago, he came to our borders. He demanded we join him or die. I was young then, not as strong as I am now. I could not fight him. So I made a deal. I promised him my daughter when she came of age. In return, he would leave us alone. Nari's face went pale. You sold me to a monster? The queen closed her eyes. Pain was clear on her face. I had no choice. It was you or a billion lives. I chose the billion. I chose my people. Tears fell from Nari's eyes. How could you? I was your daughter. Your child. How could you trade me like that? Because I am a queen first, the queen said. A mother second. That is the price of the crown. That is the weight I carry every day. She opened her eyes and looked at Nari. But things have changed. Over the years, I have grown stronger. My fleet is bigger. My weapons are better. I can fight King Wu now. I can defeat him. Hope appeared on Nari's face. Then fight him. Cancel the marriage. Set me free. The queen shook her head slowly. It is not that simple. If I break the promise, he will attack. Not just my empire. Earth too. He knows you are here. He knows about the human who stole his bride. He will burn this planet to ashes. Tay felt cold fear in his stomach. His small world was now part of a galactic war. So what do we do? He asked. The queen looked at him with measuring eyes. I came here with a plan. A new plan. One that might save everyone. She stood up and walked to the window. She looked up at her ships in the sky. King Wu is coming. His fleet will arrive in 3 days. He expects to collect his bride and leave. But that is not going to happen. She turned back to face them. Instead, we will trap him. When his fleet enters this system, my ships will ambush him. We will destroy him and end his evil forever. Nari stood up. What about the marriage? There will be no marriage, the queen said. King Wu will be dead. His empire will fall. You will be free, Nari. Free to live wherever you want. With whoever you want. She looked at Tay. Even with a human farmer, if that is your choice. Nari ran to her mother and hugged her. The queen was surprised at first. She stood stiff and still. But slowly, her arms came up and held her daughter. I am sorry, the queen whispered. For everything? For the deal. For the control. For pushing you away. I was so afraid of losing you that I forgot how to love you. Nari cried into her mother's shoulder. I was so angry at you. For so long. But I never stopped loving you. You are my mother. Nothing can change that. Tay watched them with warm eyes. He knew this moment was important. For 20 years, they had been separated by duty and fear. Now, finally, they were finding each other again. When they pulled apart, the queen's face was wet with tears. But she was smiling. A real smile. Tay had not thought she could smile like that. There is one more thing, the queen said. She looked at Tay seriously. The battle will happen above this planet. Your people will see it. They will be afraid. They might do foolish things. I need someone to keep them calm. Someone they trust. Someone who knows both worlds. Tay understood. You want me to speak for Earth? Yes, I want you to be the voice between our peoples. You have shown me that humans have value. Now show the rest of the galaxy. Tay looked at Nari. She nodded, her eyes full of pride. I am just a farmer, Tay said. I do not know how to speak for a planet. The queen smiled. You spoke for my daughter. You stood against me without fear. You changed my mind with simple words. If you can do that, you can do anything. Tay took a deep breath. 3 days ago, he was planting rice. Now he was about to help save the galaxy. "Okay," he said. "I will try." The Queen nodded. "Good. Then let us prepare. War is coming, and we must be ready." Queen Vila stood in the middle of Tay's small house. Her silver hair moved slowly around her head like it was floating in water. Her purple eyes burned with cold anger. She looked at Tay like he was dirt under her feet. "You dare say no to me?" she said. Her voice was quiet, but it felt like thunder. "Do you know who I am, human? I have destroyed entire worlds. I have killed billions. I have ruled this galaxy for 1,000 years. And you, a simple farmer, dare to challenge me?" Tay felt fear in his heart. His legs wanted to shake. His body wanted to run. But he did not move. He stood in front of Nari and faced the Queen. "I know who you are," he said. "But I also know who Nari is. She is not a tool. She is not property. She is a person. And she has the right to choose her own life." The Queen laughed again. It was a cruel, cold sound. "Choice? You think she has choice? She is my blood. She belongs to my empire. Her destiny was decided before she was born. She will marry Prince Juan of the Eastern Stars. She will unite our kingdoms. She will serve her purpose." "I will not," Nari said. She stepped forward and stood beside Tay. "I will never marry him. I will never go back to your palace. I will never be your puppet again." The Queen's face changed. The cold mask cracked for just a moment. Behind it, Tay saw something surprising. He saw pain. He saw sadness. He saw a mother who had lost her daughter, but then the mask returned. The Queen's face became hard again. "You are young," she said to Nari. "You do not understand. The marriage is not just about you. It is about peace. It is about survival. The Eastern Stars are powerful. If we do not join with them, they will destroy us. Millions will die. Our empire will fall. Is that what you want?" Nari's hands were shaking. Tay could see she was fighting with herself. She did not want people to die. She did not want war. But she also did not want to give up her freedom. "There must be another way," she said. "We can make peace without sacrifice. We can talk, negotiate, find common ground. Why must I give my life for politics?" "Because that is what royalty does," the Queen said. "We sacrifice ourselves for our people. I have done it. My mother did it. And her mother before her. This is our duty. This is our burden." Tay listened to them talk. He did not understand all the politics. He did not know about empires and princes and wars. But he understood one thing. This was wrong. No person should be forced to give up their freedom. No person should be traded like goods. "Your Majesty," he said. The Queen looked at him with surprise. Nobody had ever spoken to her so politely while also defying her. "I am just a simple farmer. I do not know about ruling galaxies or fighting wars. But I know about people. I know what makes them happy and what makes them sad." He pointed at Nari. "Look at your daughter. Really, look at her. When was the last time you saw her smile? When was the last time she laughed? In your palace, she was dying inside. She was empty. She was a ghost wearing a crown." The Queen's eyes moved to Nari. For the first time, she really looked at her. She saw her daughter wearing simple human clothes. She saw her hands, rough from working in the field. She saw her face, tanned by the sun. And she saw her eyes, full of light and life. Nari was different. She was not the sad, quiet girl who had run away 3 years ago. She was strong. She was alive. She was happy. 3 years ago, I found her in my field, Tay continued. She was broken, not just in her body, but in her soul. She was afraid of everything. She could not smile. She could not laugh. She had forgotten what it meant to be alive. He looked at Nari with soft eyes. But slowly she healed. Not because of medicine or magic. Because of simple things. Cooking food. Growing plants. Watching the sunset. Talking with a friend. These small things gave her peace. They gave her joy. They made her whole again. The queen was silent. Her face was unreadable. But Tay could see her hands were tight. She was holding back something. Maybe anger. Maybe tears. He could not tell. You say she must sacrifice herself for peace, Tay said. But what kind of peace is bought with suffering? What kind of peace is built on broken dreams? If your empire can only survive by destroying your daughter's happiness, then maybe your empire does not deserve to survive. The soldiers around the queen raised their weapons. They pointed them at Tay. One word from the queen, and he would be dead. But the queen raised her hand. The soldiers stopped. You speak bravely, human, she said. Too bravely for your own good. In my empire, people have been killed for less. But I will give you this. You have courage. Foolish, stupid courage. But courage all the same. She walked closer to Tay. She was much taller than him. She looked down at him with her glowing eyes. Tell me, farmer, what do you know about love? Your species lives for such a short time. 80 years? 90? My people live for thousands of years. We have seen love come and go like seasons. It means nothing in the end. Tay did not look away. That is where you are wrong, Your Majesty. Love is not about how long you live. It is about how deeply you feel. I may only live 80 years, but in those 80 years, I will love with all my heart. I will feel every moment. I will treasure every day. That is more than you have done in 1,000 years. Something changed in the queen's eyes. The coldness faded for just a moment. Tay saw surprise there, and something else. Something like respect. Mother, Nari said softly, I know you are angry. I know you feel I betrayed you, but I had to leave. I was drowning in that palace. I was losing myself. Every day, I woke up feeling empty. Every night, I cried myself to sleep. I could not live that way anymore. Tears were falling down Nari's cheeks now. But she did not stop talking. Here, with Tay, I found something I never had before. I found peace. I found joy. I found purpose. Not the purpose you gave me, but my own purpose. A purpose I chose for myself. She took a step toward her mother. I am sorry I ran away. I am sorry I made you worry. But I am not sorry for leaving, because leaving saved my life. Tay saved my life, and I will not go back to dying slowly in a golden cage. The queen looked at her daughter. The room was silent. The soldiers did not move. The air itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, slowly, the queen did something nobody expected. She reached out and touched Nari's face. Her hand was gentle. Her eyes were soft. You look so much like your father, she said quietly. He was brave too. He also challenged me. He also spoke his mind. I loved him for that. Nari's eyes widened. The queen never talked about her father. He had died when Nari was young. She barely remembered him. I lost him, the queen continued, and I swore I would never lose you. I built walls around you. I made rules to protect you. I controlled everything because I was afraid. Afraid of losing my only child. Her hand dropped from Nari's face. Her expression became sad. But in trying to protect you, I pushed you away. In trying to keep you safe, I hurt you. I see that now. She turned and walked toward the door. At the door, she stopped and looked back. I will not force you to come back tonight. But this is not over. We will talk again. There are things you do not understand. things that must be done. Then she was gone. The soldiers followed her. The light came down from the ship and took them back. Tay and Nari stood alone in the house. They looked at each other. They did not know what to feel. They had survived the first battle, but the war was not over yet. The sky turned dark in the middle of the day. Tay looked up from his rice field and saw something he had never seen before. Giant ships floated above his village. They were bigger than mountains. They blocked the sun and made everything cold. Tay was a simple farmer. He lived alone in a small house at the edge of the village. He grew rice and vegetables. He had no wife and no children. His life was quiet and peaceful. But today, everything changed. The ships made no sound. They just hung there in the sky like sleeping giants. Tay could see lights on them. Blue and white lights that moved in strange patterns. He dropped his tools and ran toward his house. Other villagers were running too. Some were screaming. Some were crying. Children held on to their mothers. Old people looked up at the sky with fear in their eyes. Nobody knew what was happening. Tay reached his house and stopped at the door. He thought about the girl inside. The girl he had found 3 years ago. The girl with silver hair and purple eyes. The girl who was not from Earth. Her name was Nari. At least, that was the name he gave her. When he found her, she could not speak his language. She could not even stand. Her ship had crashed in his field one night, and he had pulled her from the fire. For 3 years, Nari lived with him. She learned to speak Korean. She learned to cook rice and make soup. She learned to smile and laugh. She became like family to Tay. He never asked where she came from. He never asked why she fell from the sky. He just took care of her. Now, looking at the giant ships above, Tay understood. They had come for her. He opened the door and went inside. Nari was standing by the window. She was looking at the ships with wide eyes. Her silver hair glowed softly in the dark room. Her purple eyes were full of fear. "They found me," she said. Her voice was shaking. Tay walked to her and stood beside her. "Who are they?" "My people," Nari said. "The Starbound Empire." "And my mother? Your mother?" Nari turned to look at him. There were tears in her eyes. "I never told you the truth, Tay. I am sorry. My mother is Queen Vila. She rules 1,000 worlds. I am her daughter. I am a princess." Tay did not know what to say. For 3 years, he thought Nari was just a lost traveler. He thought she was alone in the universe. He never imagined she was royalty. "Why did you run away?" he asked. Nari looked back at the ships. "Because I was tired. Tired of rules. Tired of politics. Tired of being used as a tool for power. My mother wanted me to marry a prince from another empire. She wanted to join our kingdoms through my body. I was not a daughter to her. I was just a thing to be traded." Tay felt anger rise in his chest. He did not know much about queens and empires, but he knew that no parent should treat their child like that. "So you ran," he said. "Yes, I stole a small ship and flew away. I did not know where I was going. I just wanted to be free. Then my ship broke, and I fell here. To your world. To your field." She smiled a little. "To you." Before Tay could speak, a bright light appeared outside. It came down from the biggest ship and touched the ground near his house. The light was so bright that he had to cover his eyes. When the light faded, Tay saw people standing outside. But they were not really people. They were tall and beautiful. Their skin was pale like moonlight. Their eyes glowed in different colors. They wore armor that looked like liquid silver, and in the middle of them stood a woman. She was the most beautiful and the most terrifying person Tay had ever seen. She was tall, taller than any human. Her hair was silver like Nari's, but it floated around her head like it was alive. Her eyes were deep purple, and they burned with cold fire. She wore a crown made of stars. This was Queen Vela. The queen walked toward the house. Her soldiers followed her. Their boots made no sound on the ground. Everything was silent. Even the wind stopped blowing. Tay felt his heart beating fast. His hands were shaking, but he did not run. He stood in front of Nari and faced the door. The door opened by itself. The queen stepped inside. She looked around the small house with eyes full of disgust. She saw the simple furniture, the old walls, the dirt floor. Then she saw Tay. "You are the human," she said. Her voice was cold like ice. "You are the one who kept my daughter." Tay swallowed hard. "I did not keep her. I saved her." The queen laughed. It was not a happy laugh. It was a cruel sound that made Tay feel small. "Saved her? You? A primitive creature from a primitive world? You know nothing about saving. You know nothing about anything." She looked past Tay and saw Nari. Her expression changed for just a moment. Something soft appeared in her eyes. But then it was gone, replaced by anger. "Nari," the queen said, "I have searched 1,000 stars for you. I have burned worlds to find you. And here you are, hiding in dirt with an animal." Nari stepped forward and stood beside Tay. "He's not an animal, mother. He's more human than anyone in your empire." The queen raised one eyebrow. "Human? Is that supposed to be a compliment?" "Yes," Nari said. "It is." The queen looked at Tay again. She studied him like he was an insect. Then she spoke the words that would change everything. "I came to your house to take my daughter. Step aside, human. She belongs to me." Tay looked at Nari. She was shaking. Tears were falling down her cheeks. But in her eyes, he saw something else. He saw hope. She was hoping he would not give up. She was hoping he would fight for her. Tay turned back to the queen. He was just a farmer. He had no weapons, no power, no army. He was nothing compared to her. But he had something she did not have. He had courage. He had love. "No," he said. The queen's eyes widened. The soldiers raised their weapons. The air became heavy with danger. "What did you say?" the queen asked. Tay stood tall. His voice did not shake. "I said no. I will not step aside. Nari is not a thing to be taken. She is a person, and she can decide for herself." The queen stared at him for a long moment. Nobody had ever said no to her. Nobody had ever dared. This simple human, this farmer from a forgotten world, had just challenged the most powerful woman in the galaxy, and he was not afraid. 3 years before the queen came, Tay was sleeping in his bed when he heard a loud sound. It was like thunder, but different. It shook his whole house. The windows broke. The walls cracked. He fell out of his bed and hit the floor hard. He ran outside and saw fire in his rice field. Something had crashed there. Something big. The fire was bright orange and blue. It burned his crops and filled the air with smoke. Tay grabbed a bucket of water and ran toward it. When he got closer, he saw it was not a normal fire. It was a machine. A ship of some kind. It was small, about the size of his house. It was made of metal that he had never seen before. The metal was white and smooth, but now it was broken and burning. Tay threw water on the fire. He worked for hours. His arms hurt. His lungs burned from the smoke. But he did not stop. Finally, when the sun started to rise, the fire was out. That was when he heard the crying. It came from inside the ship. Someone was alive in there. Tay climbed over the broken metal and looked through a hole in the side. Inside, he saw a girl. She was lying on the floor. Her clothes were torn and burned. Her skin was covered in blood. But she was breathing. She was alive. Tay reached in and pulled her out. She was lighter than he expected. He carried her to his house and put her on his bed. Then he looked at her closely for the first time. She was not human. Her hair was silver, like the light of the moon. Her skin was pale, almost white. Her ears were longer than human ears. And when she opened her eyes, he saw they were purple. Deep purple, like flowers in spring. Tay should have been afraid. He should have run away or called the government. But he did not. Something in her eyes stopped him. She looked at him with so much fear, so much pain. She looked like a wounded animal. She needed help. So he helped her. For many days. The girl could not move. Tay fed her soup and water. He cleaned her wounds and changed her bandages. He did not know if human medicine would work on her, but it did. Slowly, she got better. She did not speak for the first month. She just watched him with her purple eyes. She watched him cook, clean, and work in his field. She watched everything he did. Sometimes she would touch things in his house. Simple things like a cup or a blanket. She would hold them and look at them like they were treasures. One day, she finally spoke. Her voice was soft and strange. She spoke in a language Tay did not understand. But she was trying to say something. She pointed at him and made a sound. Tay pointed at himself. "Tay," he said. "My name is Tay." The girl tried to copy him. "Tay," she said. He smiled. She smiled back. It was the first time he saw her smile. It was like watching the sun come out after a long rain. From that day, Tay started teaching her Korean. He pointed at things and said their names. Cup, table, rice, water, sun, moon. She learned fast. Very fast. In 2 months, she could speak simple sentences. In 6 months, she was talking like she had spoken Korean her whole life. Tay asked her name once. She said something he could not pronounce. It was long and full of sounds that did not exist in Korean. So he gave her a new name. Nari, he said. It means lily flower. Is that okay? She smiled and nodded. Nari, I like it. As time passed, Nari became part of Tay's life. She helped him in the field. She learned to plant rice and pull weeds. She was not very good at it at first. She did not understand why humans had to work so hard for food. In her world, machines did everything. Why do you do this yourself? She asked one day. Why not make machines do it? Tay thought about the question. I do not have machines, he said. And even if I did, I like doing it myself. When I plant something and watch it grow, I feel happy. When I eat food that I grew with my own hands, it tastes better. That is what being human is about. Nari did not understand at first. But after many months of working beside him, she started to feel it too. She felt the joy of planting a seed and seeing it become a plant. She felt the peace of working under the sun and feeling the wind on her face. She also learned to cook. In her world, food was made by machines. It was perfect every time, but it had no soul. Human food was different. Sometimes it was too salty. Sometimes it was burned. But it was made with love, and that made it special. One evening, Nari made dinner for Tay. It was just rice and vegetables, but she had cooked it herself. She put the food on the table and watched him eat. Her eyes were full of hope. Tay took one bite and smiled. This is delicious, he said. Nari's face lit up. She had never felt so proud in her life. In her world, she was a princess. She had servants and treasures and power. But none of that ever made her feel like this. This simple moment, cooking for someone who cared about her, was worth more than 1,000 crowns. As the months became years, Nari changed. She was not the scared, wounded girl Tay had found in his field. She became strong and kind. She laughed often. She smiled every day. She learned what it meant to be happy. And she fell in love. She did not plan it. She did not even understand it at first. Love was not something her people talked about. Marriage in her world was about power and politics. It was about joining kingdoms and making alliances. Love had nothing to do with it. But here, with Tay, she felt something she had never felt before. Her heart beat faster when he was near. She felt warm when he smiled at her. She wanted to be with him all the time. She wanted to take care of him and make him happy. One night, they sat outside and looked at the stars. Nari pointed at a bright star far away. "That is my home," she said. "My mother rules there. She has a palace bigger than this whole village. She has ships that can fly between stars. She has power that you cannot imagine." Tay looked at the star. "Do you miss it?" Nari was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "No, I do not miss the palace or the power. I do not miss the servants or the parties. I only miss being safe. My mother will never stop looking for me. One day, she will find me. And when she does, she will take me back." Tay took her hand. "Then, we will face that day together." Nari looked at him. Tears were in her eyes. "Why are you so kind to me? I am a stranger. I am not even from your world. Why do you care about me?" Tay smiled softly. "Because that is what humans do. We take care of each other. We love each other. It does not matter where you come from. You are my family now, Nari, and I will never let anyone hurt you." Nari leaned her head on his shoulder. The stars shone above them. The night was quiet and peaceful. In that moment, she made a decision in her heart. She would never go back. No matter what happened, no matter who came for her, she would stay with Tay forever. But deep in space, 1,000 lights were searching. The Queen's ships moved through the darkness, hunting for her lost daughter. And they were getting closer every day.